Hello yogis. So, hips today. We're going to start by lying down on your back. And just take a few moments just to feel the back of your pelvis on the ground, noticing where your feet are, one foot further forwards than the other. Being aware of your lower ribs and the contact of your back lower ribs on the ground, your shoulder blades, and back of your skull. And taking just a few moments to drop into your body, away from your mind space, inhabiting your body again. And then taking one ankle across the opposite knee. And you could stay here, just gently maybe pulsing the bent knee, so the lifted bent knee. Or you could just gently guide it away from that hip. Being aware that your hips are level. Another option is to hold behind the thigh, and then you can use your elbow against your opposite inner thigh to help guide that lifted knee away from you. So you're drawing, so I've got my right leg across my left knee, and I'm gently encouraging my right knee to draw away, at the same time drawing my left knee in towards me. Another option here is to straighten your left leg. And depending on what your flexibility is like, you could stay here or take the hands now towards your shin. But really kind of, it matters less how deep we go, you know, kind of the variations, oh I can do this rather than I'm still here on the ground. It matters more how integrous we are in what we're doing. And how much space we have to play. Okay. So whatever version you're doing, you are now dropping that foot and switching legs. And you might notice a difference between hips. This side feels a little bit tighter for me. And then you're either staying here or holding around the back of your thigh, encouraging I've got now my left knee, encouraging that away from me as I draw my right knee in towards me. And then the other option was lifting the leg up, either continuing to hold around the back of the thigh or moving the hands up towards the calf. So being aware of sensations, tiny little letting goes that might be happening, and also how often we let go and then re-grip almost immediately. There's all sorts of exploration that can happen here. And when you're ready, releasing and rocking all the way up. And we come into Baddha Konasana, so cobbler's pose. So I like to sit on something if you have something to sit on, grab that. Also, if you've got a brick or a block or something, a book would work. So to begin with, just bringing your heels in as close as you can and hands behind you in order to encourage length through the spine. So one of the muscles that we're encouraging length in here is the psoas muscle, and because that attaches to the spine in this pose, when it's encouraging to be lengthened here in the inner groin, it's very easy to kind of slump. So can you encourage a little bit more length through your spine, pushing into the soles of your feet, and an allowance for your knees to descend. And release, and shake out. And then grabbing your brick, so I've got it on its medium setting, and I'm putting the soles of my feet around the brick, bringing them in as close as I can, and again, hands behind, lengthening spine. And as you push into the sides of the brick, or whatever it is that you're pushing into, can you sense your outer hips drawing in? So the top of your femur head, top of your leg bone, drawing into your hip socket. And the more that draws in, the more it helps an opening on the front of your hip socket. Try not to scrunch your shoulders. So shoulder collarbones spreading. And just checking in that you're not holding your breath. Okay, and releasing. Just shaking out. You might just swish your legs a little bit. Okay, we're going to come in a bit deeper by now having the brick flat. Okay, and now soles of the feet around. You might find that your knees are kind of quite high, but that's fine. Again, check you are right up on top of your sit bones. And as you push your feet, soles of the feet into the brick, your outer hips draw in, and then an allowance for your knees to descend towards the ground. Space between your collarbones. Check in that you're not gripping your jaw or other habitual places where you like to tense. Just check in. And release. And again, just roll the legs. Okay, so let's see what it's like bringing soles of the feet back together again. What has the brick brought to you? As you push into the soles of the feet and draw your outer hips in, is there more of an ease as you descend your knees towards the ground? So mine have, my hips have loosened. There's also a sense of the brick having informed my body what it needs to do. So the right muscle groups are now understanding what they need to do in order for the other muscle groups to release. Okay, and letting go. Last one, rolling the legs, massaging. Okay, on to and knees. Coming into nice tabletop position here, pushing down through the shins, and just lifting one knee up. And starting off with small circles, trying to keep the weight as even as you can through hands and shin, and gradually widening the circles, being aware as you do this whether your circles are circles or whether they're ovals or circle comes square, how fluid the movement is or how jerky, maybe switching opposite direction. And yes, it's quite hard work because the legs are heavy, these big heavy muscles. And how is it coming in? So circling the opposite direction. Same circles, or does it feel different? And releasing. Okay, other side. So starting off smaller circles. And of course, one side is always very different to the other. Gradually increasing the circle. And how is it on this side? Maybe they're more circular. Or maybe less. And maybe opposite direction. Okay, and release. Then just stepping back through one leg, turning your pelvis towards your heart, pushing down through your hands, lengthening through that leg, and opposite side, stretching back, turning the pelvis, your pelvis towards your heart, pushing up through the arms, spreading your shoulder blades, gaze slightly towards the end of your mat. And then just stepping back with the other leg now, plank. And pulling back, downward facing dog. Broadness across your shoulder blades, collarbones. You might bend your knees in order to lengthen your spine a little. And straighten both legs. And bending both knees and straightening. And taking your feet right to the edges of your mat and just swiveling from side to side on the edges of your feet. And coming down onto your knees. Lean back on your hands, taking your feet a little bit wider than hip distance and swishing from side to side. So you don't need to get the inner knee to touch the ground. Another nice thing to add in is to carry on the spiral through the spine. So you can almost look over your shoulder as you're doing this. And crossing your legs, maybe crossing them the opposite way to what you normally do. And taking a few moments just to settle. You are very welcome to continue into another practice or lie down for Shavasana, or use this seated shape as your Shavasana. Being aware of sensations in your body, being aware of your breathing. Thank you very much. Namaste.